Sure. So would you agree with that plants are not sentient, or you still
No,
think that they can?
no, I think everything in this world have a soul. So I believe in that. So I don't give a fuck about the science or anything else because I think everything have a soul. Everything can feel us, can feel pain, can feel suffer. Everything, not just animals.
What about
The
what
planet.
about rocks, for example, rocks?
What rocks? No, rocks it's not.
Here we go. So we should be recording now. Hey,
Yeah,
so thanks for agreeing for the chat, man. So what do you know about veganism? Do you know what the word vegan means?
it's don't eat about meat and anything have a soul. Uh, don't eat it. That's what I know about vegan. To be a vegan.
Yeah. So the definition of veganism is a philosophy or a way of life which seeks to exclude all forms of animal cruelty and exploitation as far as possible and practical. So that's pretty much the definition.
Okay.
Sure. So you said that you love animals, right? You're an animal lover.
Yeah, yeah. I have 6 dogs too.
You have 6 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three
that's
huskies
cool,
and
man.
one Labrador. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then you also said that you eat animals. So do you think that uh, there's any contradiction there? If, for example, if you say that you love animals but you also eat them, do you think there's a ethical issue there?
Okay, I will tell you something. I don't think like this way because when I eat meat, like something like meat, an example, when I eat meat, I don't think about the animal. I just think about the food. Okay. If I was thinking about that meal, is it for the cow or some animal? So I will not eat it because I will feel bad. But when I eat a meat, I just eat a food. I don't think this meat is was like an animal. So that's all sentence,
Sure, yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're like pretty much you're saying that there's a disconnect there, so you're not aware of what happens to the animals, and you're just thinking about the food. You don't really you don't really think in the moment that it is an animal there. So would you say that there's a problem with that? Like, for example, what would you say if somebody gave you dog meat and they didn't tell you anything about it? It's just a piece of meat on a plate. Would you think there's a problem with eating the meat of dogs?
Yeah, because I have dogs.
Sure.
Yeah,
So you have an emotional attachment to dogs.
yeah, sure, man. But I will tell you something. Uh, I don't think like in this way because uh, lion, as an example, lion eat another animals, so it's okay. We are not lions, okay, but we need to eat this in our life, okay. Uh, in the old, uh, they don't eat meat as much than now, okay. They was like vegan more than now because in the old to be a vegan is more healthy, okay. But they eat meat too, but in a little way, not like us today, not like every day, okay. So it was like a balance between a vegan and to eat meat, not like these days.
Sure. Yeah. So like just a little bit of cruelty. Yeah, so I heard two things there in the first thing that you said. You said like animals do it, therefore it's okay for us to do it. I have a problem with that. And then you said that we actually need it. Like the lion, we need to eat meat. I disagree with that as well. So Can we go one of it at a time? So first of all, what do you think about the lion situation? Do you think there's an important difference between us and lions?
Difference on what? We all need food to live. Okay. Uh,
Sure.
that's a common thing between us and the lions or some animals. But the difference between us and them, we have a brain and they don't.
Sure, yeah. So like that's right. We have opinions, and also we have a moral agency, right? So we know the difference between right and wrong. That's an important difference between lions and us. They don't have the same level of moral agency as we do, and also they don't have any other options. Like lions, they're just trying to survive in nature. They have to eat what they have to eat to survive. We have alternatives. We have other options. So why would we imitate lions if we had more compassionate alternatives available to us?
Okay, I will tell you something. If you are lost in a forest now and you want to survive, you will eat meat or not.
Yes, I think it would be justified if you're in a survival situation like the lion. I think it is morally acceptable to do so, but we are not in that situation, right?
Okay, now you told me you will be not vegan if you want in a survival situation, but now you are not in a survival situation, so you will be a vegan because you have many choices more than meat. That's what you mean. But in the
Yeah,
forest, you don't have these choices. You just have meat. Okay. Uh, okay. I accept
yeah. Can
your
I just
thinking.
can I interject just for a moment? It's not quite that I won't be vegan, because the definition of vegan is that you are against animal cruelty and exploitation as far as possible and practicable. So if you're in a situation where it's not possible or practicable to live without harming animals, then it would be justified. But right now, I'm not in that situation. I have alternatives available to me. So in both cases, I would be vegan under the definition. But it's just that right now I have other options. That's why the ethical thing is to eat plants instead of animals.
Okay. So I will tell you something. The plant have a soul, right?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think plants have
No,
consciousness.
it's a scientific thing, man. Animal have a souls and plant too have a souls. Okay, because plant can feel. Okay, uh, because some of lands they just move away to the sun with the sun and just move and just close with the sun go on. Okay, so
Yeah, so
uh,
there's a difference
the,
there. Like the difference is that like plants are not sentient, but they can respond to stimuli. So there's a difference between responding to stimuli, that's called intelligence, and sentience. Sentience means a capacity for subjective experience. So a capacity to feel pain, to feel pleasure, to have a will to live. Animals have that because animals have central nervous systems, including us, but plants do not. By the way, I wanted to ask you on the definition of soul. You said that animals and plants have souls. What do you mean by soul?
it's it's a soul. What do you mean by meaning of soul? It's soul. Like we have
Yeah,
soul,
yeah.
animal have
How do
soul.
you define it? How do you define soul?
To feel anything, to be. As I don't know about this definition.
Oh yeah, I understand what you mean. So pretty much you're using the word as I would use the word sentience. So or consciousness, which is to feel, to have the ability to feel. So do you think plants are able to feel pain and suffer, for example? You think they can?
What what can you repeat it again because you was lagging for me.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry. So do you think plants are sentient? They can feel pain and suffer?
Yeah, I'm thinking they can feel pain and suffer.
Yeah, so I actually disagree with that. Like most scientists would disagree with you, and I study psychology, so I know, for example, that sentience is an emergent product of the brain. So, for example, the reason we evolved to feel pain, animals like us, we evolved to feel pain to be able to flee and to run away from noxious stimuli, so to run away from things that would harm us. Plants, on the other hand, they can't run away. They are in the same place. They are stuck in the earth. So what would be the evolutionary reason for plants to develop sentience, or as you call it, souls, if they can't move?
They don't need to move.
Exactly, they don't need to move. So why would they feel pain if they can't move away from the object that's causing harm to them?
Because that is their nature. Okay,
Yeah, and I disagree.
God created them like that.
Yeah, so I disagree with that. I think plants don't feel pain, and animals do. So, for example, do you see a difference between biting an apple and stabbing a dog in the throat? Do you see a difference between those two?
Yeah, sure.
What would you say is the difference there?
Yeah, I can listen now. The dog is crying. The crying of the dog now, but the apple I can't listen about their crying. It just and fruit.
Sure, and the dogs crying, as you say, that would be an expression of their pain, of their suffering. They are reacting to the pain.
Yeah,
Plants, they
sure.
they,
They
they
are
don't
pain.
feel pain.
The fruit is not plain. The fruit is is not plain.
Sure,
I
it is from plant origin, so it comes from
yeah,
plants. Yeah,
yeah, but they already killed because you took it from the plant. Okay, so they don't have a soul, don't have anything.
okay, so let me ask you this: you said that an apple is already fallen from the plant, but like, what about a tree? Do you think there's a difference between cutting a tree, like you know what I mean, like cutting a tree from the forest, and stabbing a dog?
It's all the same for me. It's the worst. Sure, the dog is the worst, but it's a bad thing in the both way, not like the apple.
Yeah, so I would actually disagree that it's the same thing because I don't think they can feel pain,
Not
but you
same thing. That I don't say they are same. I don't say that. I say they are bad. Okay, but to stab the dog in his neck it's worse than to cut the tree. Okay, but
sure,
both of them is wrong for me, and both of them is bad for me.
sure, and I would agree with that. I think the stabbing the dog is worst, and the reason that is worse is because the dog wants to live, and the dog can feel pain and suffer, and the plant cannot.
Okay.
Sure. So would you agree with that plants are not sentient, or you still
No,
think that they can?
no, I think everything in this world have a soul. So I believe in that. So I don't give a fuck about the science or anything else, because I think everything have a soul. Everything can feel us, can feel pain, can feel suffer. Everything, not just animals.
What about
The
what about
planet too.
rocks, for example, rocks?
What, rocks? No, rocks it's not something can live. You don't have a water to give to rock to grow up and something like that. Okay, I
Sure,
told.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
so rocks can't feel pain because they're not. You say they're not life, but I'm just saying that from a scientific point of view, what life is just the ability to grow, to have
Exactly, yeah. To grow up.
metabolic processes. Like not everything that's alive is sentient. The only things that can develop sentience are things that with a brain and a nervous system, like animals, including us. So you said that you don't give a fuck about science. Like that would be a difference in values between us, because I do think science is pretty important. So like
Yeah,
for example,
it's
just
important. Yeah, sorry, but it is important. I don't mind, but I don't give a fuck about it because when it comes, yeah, I just thinking by myself. Okay, science is more
sure.
important than anything. Yeah, I agree with you, but I believe in this. I believe in everything. Grow up by water, by feeding them, by anything like this. I think they have the souls, and we must respect that. I know that, okay, but I think
Okay.
all of that have souls.
Okay, so let me. I disagree with that. Everything has a soul. Like if you're gonna define soul as a sentience, like as the ability to feel, I disagree. But even like if for the sake of argument, let's say you're right. Like just for the sake of argument, let's say that everything has a soul. I would you say that who would kill more plants, a vegan or an omnivore, like yourself?
I don't know because I think we all eat both. A vegan just eat planet, and we eat planet and meat too. So I think it's an equal result.
Sure. So what do the animals eat? You agree that the animals have to eat before they kill them, right?
What?
Do you agree that the animals also have to eat before they kill them? They have to eat to be able to grow up and get and be healthy and
Yeah,
when
sure.
sure. So what do the animals that you eat? What do they eat?
What did what? They eat a planet, man, or something else. Like I don't know it in English, but there are artificial things they do now to feed the animals.
Sure, yeah. So they actually eat plants, the animals. So they eat. I think you mean grains. They are fed with grains, like with soy and corn. The cows, for example.
Yeah,
So yeah, so at the end of the day, these animals have to eat too. So for example, the person who eats animals, they eat plants, and they also eat animals who eat a lot of plants. Like animals need more plants than us to survive. So at the end of the day, the vegans are going to cause less deaths because they only eat plants. They don't have to eat animals who also eat plants. And for example, you have to take down forests in able to make space for uh, for the cows, and for example for the livestock you have to deforest. So at the end of the day, the vegan is going to end up causing less overall harm because they have to eat less amount of food.
okay.
Yeah, so would you agree with that, like the for example that vegans uh, will cause less harm than omnivores?
Um, I don't know. But I don't know, bro.
Yeah, so I don't know if you care about science. You said that you don't, but for example, the United
No,
Nations
I
they did
care.
the
I care about science for sure, but
cool, cool.
when I think about myself, I just think about myself, you know.
Okay, man, of course. So yeah, so the United Nations, the last climate report that they said, like I believe it's in chapter 3, page 78 of the latest climate report. They came to the conclusion that if everybody went vegan, we would need less space to produce more food. So we will actually end up killing less plants. And if you think plants have souls, do you think that's a good thing if we ended up killing less plants to survive?
Uh, I think the humans is more important things on the earth, right? Because God create us, okay, right?
Okay, so I actually don't agree with that. I'm not religious, but we can talk about that. I agree with you
Okay,
that humans have higher value. I agree with that. Like for example, I think humans have
okay.
a greater ability to experience well being and to produce well being. So in that sense, I agree with you. But what I disagree is that animals have so little value that it's okay to do whatever we want with them. I disagree with that.
I will tell you something. Um, you know, uh, the king always win, right? Because the king is like an human, and the servant is like an animal. Okay, so uh, to to be a king is a difficult. Okay, so you need to eat. Okay, to still to stay in your position like a king. Okay, so humans need to eat, to be in this to be stable in this position in the priority of the earth. Okay, and the highest value the of the highest value thing in the earth, sorry. So you need to eat, okay, not just a vegan, because I don't think it's cool to be a vegan all your life. It's just a different opinion, you know.
Sure. So can I respond to that? Yeah, so
So
so you said a couple of things there. Like first of all, you were pretty much making an argument that might makes right. Just because we're in the top, we can do whatever we want to the things in the bottom in order to survive. I don't think that's ethical. Like for example,
not just no. I don't do what I want. I want to do what is make me power, give me power and energy, and
sure.
and not everything. So I don't. You can fuck an animal and eat it if I told you. So that's was unethical. Okay, if but if you eat an animal, it's not like when you fuck it and eat it after that. So there is a two
Yeah,
ways
so I would
you
say that
can
both
treat.
both are wrong. I would say that
Yeah,
having in
it's your
intercourse
opinion
with
and I respect them. It's your opinion and I respect you,
yeah,
your
so
opinion.
let me ask you
Okay,
something like for example, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mischaracterize you. I didn't mean to say that you
no,
said
no, true.
everything was permissible. I'm just saying
It's
that
okay. It's okay.
we
It's
can
okay.
eat them, and you said that it's okay to eat them in order to get power and energy. But my argument would be that we can get power and energy just from eating plants. So, for example, you wouldn't say it's okay to eat other humans in order to get power and energy, right?
No, dude, I'm not happy to eat animals, okay? But I raised like that, and all my life I eat meat, eat chicken, eat like something like this, okay? So I hope I was vegan, okay? I don't go against them because uh, I hope to be a vegan, but I can't do that, okay? Because I love meat, I love this food, okay? So that's a difference, okay? There is a lot of people don't want to be a vegan, okay? Because they don't trust it or they don't believe in it, okay? But me, I believe in vegan, okay? But I can't do that, okay?
Sure,
That's
like
a
can I
difference.
yeah, so you said that you can't. I wouldn't see why you can't. And for example, you said that you were raised eating animals. Like you and me are not different there. Like for example, I'm from Puerto Rico. Like it is cultural to eat animals here in Puerto Rico as well. But the only argument that I would say there is that it is important for us to question traditions that are cruel and that cause harm to others. Like for example, if you were to discover that you have a way to go vegan, and you have the alternatives, and you could be healthy and survive, would you say that it would be the more compassionate thing to do? You said that you can't go vegan. Why is it that you think that you can't?
Because I love I love this food. I don't love vegan food.
Sure.
I
So
just
let me.
you know uh, I like food, not just eat food for to just get some energy. I like the taste of the food. Okay, so there is a difference between I
Sure.
just eat to just live and just enjoy by food. Okay, there is a
Sure, and
difference.
I enjoy food too. Of course, like there's a lot of tasty vegan food. Like, but let me ask you this: what do you think has higher value? What do you think is more important, your taste pleasure, or the life of animals?
It's a difficult question, I think both of them is important for me. You know, uh, I can reduce my percentage of eating meat. Okay, so I can eat like a vegan product like 3 or 4 days. Sorry, 4 or 5 days in a week, and just 2 or 3 days. I can eat a meat on something like that. So uh, I know people eat meat every day. Okay, that's not a good thing. Okay, I am with you, but you can reduce it. Like me, you can eat like 4 or 5 days vegan and 2 or 3 days like in meat. And in the future, who know? Okay, I can be 100% vegan. Who know?
Sure, man. Then that would be awesome. Like, for example, I used to eat meat every day. Like I stopped being a meat eater when I was 20. I've been six years vegan now. But like I think that like an ethical vegan hears you saying that, and what I hear is like you're saying it's okay to be cruel and to cause suffering, like 3 or 4 times a week. I think if you have the alternatives to not cause suffering 3 times a week, why wouldn't you be 100% vegan and never cause suffering, like or not cause needless suffering to animals?
What do you want now?
Yeah, so I'm just asking that if, for example, you said that it's okay to cause suffering 3 or 4 times a week to eat meat, but if you could live in a way that you didn't cause any suffering, would you say that would be a better way to live your life, a more compassionate way?
I don't know because I didn't try it before, but I will tell you something. When it comes to food, it's difficult to prevent someone from eating it, uh, or to make him go to the vegan way. It's difficult not
I
all
agree.
people because not all people uh, think like us or think like you. So it's a difficult to just talk about this topic with them. They will make a
Sure,
joke of you, you know.
sure, I agree with that. Are you okay?
So so uh, they first you need to do something like you don't tell someone stop killing animal and stop eating them, and you just need to be a vegan. Don't do that. Okay, you can do something else like love animals, don't kill them. Okay, don't talk about them. What do you eat? What to eat? Okay, after you need to fix the problem from the roots. Okay, so the problem is animal abuse and killing animal is at the first thing. Then you can go for the food or for the meat or something like that. Okay, but you can tell them you need to be a vegan, and he already uh, uh, hate animal, and he's do animal abuse for them. Okay,
Sure, man. I see what you're saying. Like, I agree with you that it's pretty impossible to convince someone in just one conversation to stop eating animals. But what I'm doing is not trying to convince anybody. I'm just trying to raise awareness on this issue because I think it's a really important topic to discuss because I see it as a moral emergency. What we're doing to animals is really bad. Like, for example, we're killing 80 billion land animals for food every year, and we're killing trillions of fish. Even if we have other options available to us. So what I'm doing here is just trying to to raise awareness and to tell people that there's more compassionate choices available. So
I
yeah,
I respect you. I respect your what are you doing now? And I wish you luck, man, in this
sure, man. Like,
in this tough
thank you.
in this tough situation, you know.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
So like for example, like if something like this was happening to humans, if there was a human holocaust going on,
yeah, yeah,
would you
yeah.
say it would be important
I
to
know
talk
what you
about it?
mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. So I see. I think you are doing the right thing here in the bad mission. I know, not tough mission. So I wish you luck, man. But
Thank you, man.
yeah,
You have to
uh,
go.
yeah, because it's like 6 a.m. here.
Sure, man. So yeah, so let me ask you one more question, and you can get going.
Sure, 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 sure.
Sure, man. So like, if you could live a life where you harmed humans, number one, where you harmed animals, or where you harmed neither, what would you say is a more compassionate way to live?
Okay, I will choose to hurt no one.
To choose to not harm anybody, of course, man. That's the logical, the more compassionate way to live, and that's veganism in simple terms right there. So if you had alternatives available to you, and if you could go vegan, like I think most people are in a situation nowadays where we can go, and it's pretty healthy. And for example, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, it concluded that a plant-based diet is nutritionally adequate to all stages of the life cycle, and it's not only nutritionally adequate, but it produces health benefits. It's pretty healthy as well. So
Yes.
if we could be healthy and survive without harming animals, why wouldn't we do that? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
of course, man. And thank you again for agreeing to have the conversation.
You
Uh,
are welcome, man.
I'm glad you agreed, and I'm sorry if it got heated or anything. It's just the nature of these discussions. People have different opinions. They disagree. I just want to tell you, it's all in good faith. I respect everybody.
So, thank you and have a good day.
Yeah, have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.